Would you ask your worst enemy for help to move towards your goals? If not, you choose pride, fear of judgment, and stagnation over growth and success. All the money won't help in this case. Most people dream about success. They discuss financial freedom, happiness, and the life they aspire to. But very few are willing to face the brutal, uncomfortable truths that success demands. One of those truths is this: sometimes the very thing standing between you and your goals is not lack of talent, money, or opportunity. It's your ego, pride, and lack of desire or yearning. Let's ask a raw, unsettling question. If your worst enemy had the key to your dream life, would you swallow your pride and ask them for help? This is not a question most people are willing to sit with. But if you can't face it, you may already be sabotaging your own success unconsciously. Pride feels good in the short term. It keeps us standing tall, makes us feel in control, and shields us from humiliation. But pride has a dark side. It can lock us into mediocrity. Think about it. You avoid reaching out to someone because they once hurt you. You refuse to admit you don't know something because you want to look strong. You hesitate to ask for guidance because you fear appearing weak. Everybody you meet knows something you don't know. And whatever you want in life is in the pocket or in the brain of somebody. Learn more in my ebook, The Unseen Resistance to Wealth. These small acts of saving face pile up, building walls between you and your goals. Pride whispers, "Don't lower yourself or he will mock you later," or "What if it doesn't work?" Success whispers, "Do whatever it takes now. Later you will be successful, and it won't matter." Or, "You are getting closer than you think." Which voice will you listen to? Everyone says they want success, but desire is not proven by words, it's proven by sacrifice. Let's be brutally honest. Would you call someone you despise if they could connect you to the opportunity of a lifetime? Would you admit your mistakes in front of the world if it meant breaking free of your old patterns? Would you allow yourself to look foolish for the sake of a greater reward? Most people would quietly answer, no. And that's why success remains a fantasy. Because ego rarely pushes you to action, with the belief that it is impossible to fail. If you aren't willing to sacrifice pride, then success is not your true desire, it's just a wish you like to play with. Most of the successful and powerful men are shameless. It's that simple. If your desire outweighs your ego, you'll find a way. If your ego outweighs your desire, you'll find an excuse. Think about the entrepreneurs who start businesses with nothing. They beg, borrow, work, humiliating jobs, and keep showing up after countless rejections. Why do they eventually succeed? Because their hunger was greater than their pride? Now think about the countless dreamers who say, "I want to write a book, start a business, and build wealth." And years later, they're in the same place. Why? Because of their pride, fear of looking foolish, and unwillingness to endure discomfort their desire was crushed. Let's return to the metaphor. Imagine your worst enemy, someone who once betrayed you, mocked you, or stood in your way. Now imagine they hold the exact connection, resource, or wisdom that could change your life. Would you go to them? Most people would rather suffer in silence. They'd rather protect their pride than win. And that's exactly why most people never achieve the life they claim to want. Here's the irony. Success doesn't care if you like the messenger. The wisdom you need might come from a rival. The opportunity you crave might come from an enemy. The lesson you must learn might come from failure that humiliates you. The question is, will you accept it? Even further, will you trust? One reason the ego is so dangerous is that it rarely introduces itself as ego. It is a comfortable affirmation. "I'll wait until I'm ready." That disguised fear of looking unprepared. "I don't want to bother anyone." That disguised fear of rejection. "I'll do it on my own." That disguised fear of admitting weakness. Ego convinces you these are reasonable choices when in reality, they are excuses that keep you trapped, unfulfilled. Every time you protect your pride, you delay your progress. We often think of courage as bold action, taking risks, leaping into the unknown, charging forward. But sometimes courage is quiet. Courage is admitting you don't know. Courage is apologizing when it feels impossible. Courage is reaching out to someone you don't like simply because it's the only way forward. Courage is asking for help when you'd rather suffer alone. Real courage is not glamorous. It's humiliating, but it's also liberating. Let's get brutally honest again. If you had to choose between keeping your pride and achieving your goals, which would you choose? Because that is the real trade-off. Every day you cling to pride, you trade progress for ego. Every day you choose humility, you trade ego for progress. The truth is simple. You can't have both. What has pride given you so far? Familiar comfort? A false sense of control? An identity built on appearances? Now ask yourself, what has it cost you? Missed opportunities, years of stagnation, dreams left on the shelf. Pride feels like protection, but it's actually a prison, and many people will die inside it, still clutching the bars, saying, "At least I never bowed down." But is that victory or defeat? Instead of asking, "Would I ask my enemy for help?" ask this instead. Do I want success badly enough to give up the very things that keep me small? If your answer is no, then be honest with yourself. Maybe you don't really want success. Maybe what you want is comfort, familiarity, and the illusion of control. But if your answer is yes, then prepare for the real journey, because it won't just demand hard work, it will demand the death of your ego. I've lived through this tension myself. I've seen how pride, ego, and self-sabotage block people from their potential. I've also felt the sting of realizing my desires weren't strong enough to match my excuses. That's why I wrote my ebook to expose these illusions so you can access ease, magnetism, worthiness, and love. Have it in the bio and discover the blocks you can no longer afford to ignore. So, can you ask your worst enemy for help to move towards your goals? Maybe you'll never literally need to, but the question reveals something deeper. Success doesn't come to those who want it. It comes to those who want it badly enough to pay the price, no matter how uncomfortable that price may be. So, what matters more to you? Ego or destiny?